Good evening, friends. We are at the Sister Nivedita University Digital Radio podcast. Today we have with us Dr. Minal Parekh, Dean of Media Communication, Fine Arts and Design. And we will be talking about something which is really happening in the field of education and something which we have been ignoring for a very long time, that is IKS, Indian Knowledge System. Without further ado, let me go to Dr. Parekh. Good evening, Dr. Parekh, and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Dr. Parekh, my first question for you would be, we all know that IKS is based on three knowledge systems, Gyan, Vigyan and Jivan Darshan. How do we plan or how are we inculcating it in the journalism and mass communication department at SNU?
What I would like to say that actually the Indian knowledge system is basically what, the traditional education that we had to the contemporary education system that we have. So how to amalgamate both, gel both, and then plan in future way. What IKS, as we are studying and learning through several workshops and also by reading, we understand that IKS for us would be to focus more on research and other activities which are more interdisciplinary, because mass communication and journalism is it's spreading its wing in many other areas, like there are certain interdisciplinary research work or projects or other kind of seminars or academic also interface of teaching, learning we can do with other courses like engineering, where we have broadcast, where we have digital media marketing, which is also website designing. So talking about the digital part, then we have a lot of courses which are common in management, performing arts, social science, English, also in science when we have environmental science. So since mass communication is so interdisciplinary, I think Indian knowledge system will help us to spread our wings further and also introduce this to our students as well as faculty members.
We all know that when we look at the Indian knowledge system, and Indian knowledge system is really rich. For example, when we talk about a journalist, I think the first noted journalist as far as India is concerned is Maharshi Narada, who is to carry
Yes.
news from one section to the
Yeah.
other, and the wisdom with which he carried and the results that he got, because he didn't only give an information, it was like a call to action also. So how are we inculcating these kind of ancient wisdom into our knowledge system, so through drishti as we call it, so that our students, while they are adapted to the digital world, they also know their roots?
Absolutely. What we say that when we talk of traditional education system, that does not mean that there was a time where we used to study, the teachers used to teach under the tree and the pupil was there. Of course times have changed, and you are, as journalism, we see that journalist is the core of our course, which is media studies. But I think drishti is basically the vision that you have for the education system, and that has to go both the ways, mentor as well as mentee, where the students also have a bigger vision as to the teaching, learning, pedagogy that we take, or how we expose them to certain master classes, where how interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary aspects of academics can be exposed to them, how industry can be inculcated into the course. In that way, I think the drishti would be, the vision of our school would be to think towards into more industry, academia kind of teaching, learning process, and not to forget our the national education policy that has been laid down, where each course has its own course outcome, program outcome. So eventually we want that the students, when they pass out after 4 years in graduation and 1 year in masters, when they go out, they have a fruitful career to look after too, and also a career not only in industry but also in academics, because we are putting a lot of effort in students going into more of research, doing PhD. So those more training to research. because when we were into college, we only thought that only thing that we could do is probably be in front of camera or behind the camera. But academics, research, that is a major part of academics, and there I think the students can be exposed more.
Laukika Prayogna, as we call it, the practical side of education. As we know that this is more apt for pure science, where Ayurveda or medical science, where ancient wisdom can be directly put into practical exposure. But for a social science, when we say that practical exposure is needed and also ancient wisdom can be inculcated, how are we using the ancient wisdom? Like, for example, the kings, they used to send their emissaries right across different towns to gather news and say that the laws that have been implemented, whether it's having a positive or a negative effect on the citizens. So this was a way of ancient news collecting system. So how are we using that and going a step, modernizing it into the various aspects like advertising, like public relations, like filmmaking, like the digital world? How are we expanding that force so that the first advertisement was perhaps done in India was when the advertisements were done for Swamvara, where the husbands used to come and where the bride used to choose. Such a modern society that we had. So how are we using this ancient wisdom into different fields of social science? Because it's a big area.
Yeah. So as you said, a few terms like practical approach towards the courses, how we do more of practical engagement for students. So apart from doing the regular technical camera work, it is also important that they go into the society. Community outreach is one program that we take very seriously, and it is a part of a credit course. So we reach to the community, and where they use their advertising skills, they use their PR skills, they use their camera skills, their digital marketing skills, and eventually they learn the society at a large. So that is, of course, knowing the society and doing courses. Since NEP has given us this option that we can take credit courses. So if we want to learn photography separately, if we want to learn advertising, a certain area of advertising separately, PR separately, I think there are a lot of options now that you can do these courses, take these credit transfers, and eventually upgrade yourself. Also, since we are having now we have this credit transfer facility, there are students who are coming from Delhi, who are coming from Bangalore. For some reasons they are coming, they are approaching us, they want to do a course because we are right now presently trying to do very good. So I think that also brings an exchange of lot of different kind of students who are coming to us, focusing more on practical knowledge. So it can be, we say, 60-40 ratio. And I think that we should focus more on going to 70-30 or 80-20 ratio. That would be the future that we are looking for in next 5 years. So 80 would be the practical and 20 would be the theory. In that way, probably the students are more ready for the industry. It is important at the end of the day that they find a lucrative career for themselves. So, and inculcating whatever the traditional education has given us, as you said that जो हम लोग वो तो ढिंडोरा पीटते थे, वो ड्रम बजा के कि सुनो 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 सुनो. So we were today also I think media is the most strongest pillar of our society, where anything if we hear a earthquake has happened, or probably when Trump was elected, the first thing that we do is we go to a website or we go to a news channel and we want to confirm from there. So confirmation only comes once any media house confirms it. So that is the credibility that media holds, and I think that is what we want to inculcate, that media comes with a lot of ethics and moral values, which is what you were saying, the Indian knowledge system, that is the traditional knowledge that we have, that when we are using the power of pen, it should be used much.
Absolutely correct. So when we use pen, we have to use it much more responsibly, because pen is mightier than the sword, and it has been proven over the time. Yes. My next question for you, ma'am, is digital has been a big focus of IKS. Yes. And I see that Journalism and Mass Communication Department of Sister University has given a special thrust on digital education, whether it's digital marketing, whether it's Mojo, whether it's audiovisual journalism, whether it's online journalism. So if you could just elaborate on these kind of courses that we are running.
Yes, I think since it's a vast course that we have, that is journalism and mass communication, but due to the digital revolution that has happened and as per the demand of the industry, because we have to shape our student as per how the industry is shaping and also how international standards are changing. So what we see that content creation has gone to a different level where digital plays a very important role, where we have to understand nuances of digital media promotion, marketing and creation of content. So that is, I think the words are very, very simple, but the analytics, the learnings that hold behind that is something that needs to be learned. And what the interesting part of this course is that probably it's a one-man show. Probably one person can create content, promote content, market the content and also become an entrepreneur. So there are a lot of people who want to go into entrepreneurship in terms of social media content creation and website creation. So where there was a time when it was told that only coders can create website, only coders can rule this area. But I think today mass communication students are creating website, they're doing the search engine optimization, they are doing the coding also. So I think broadly they are growing and they are learning, like we are doing podcasting today. This is also a new kind of content creation that has happened. So and today we have our own studio, we have our own infrastructure, we have our own technical labs that we have. So they're very well equipped. So that is what we hope, that digital marketing is taught from with an end-to-end solution to all the students, so that when they are in the market, they should be confident enough to handle all areas comfortably.
And just for the listeners, the show that we are conducting is been run by the students.
Yes. The ones who are behind the camera are our students. The ones who are editing are also our students.
So that's a big thing. My last question to you is that, ma'am, not only education, journalism department is also quite famous in the university because of their cultural and social participation, like SNU Chronicle, like SNU Post, like MyCup, like the Quiz Club, like the Photography Club. You take the lead and you encourage students to join these different aspects. Do you think and do you believe that the fact that IKS says that we take a dip into our history, these things would make our children culturally stronger, as a personality better, and a better human being for future?
Absolutely. It's a holistic development of a child. You do not just develop a child saying that these are your syllabus, please learn your syllabus like a parrot, and you just convert that into paper when you are sitting for your examination. I think we give a holistic environment to the child where they can explore several areas. There are students who are very quiet, they're not very good with communication. You never know, they might be very good behind the camera, or good with writing, or good with radio, or good with drama, scripting. There is one student of yours who has done all of your music.
The entire music for
the entire music is done by him, and he's placed in a radio station
and
now.
He's doing he's in charge of the sound department of Sunday Suspense of Radio Mirchi.
So there is what, so probably the exposure that was given to him, the kind you nurtured him, mentored him, so that is important for the student to have an holistic approach. And since we are in the city of Kolkata, and Kolkata is known for its culture, heritage, so I think this is the best way to explore that. Music, dance, drama, and from childhood we've been taught to be culturally inclined. So and we do not realize that how it develops a personality. We only think that books develop a personality, but I think our culture also develops into who we are, what we talk. In fact, it is always said that when 10 people are in the room, but a mass communication student will always have something to say, because they read, because যেটা আমরা বাংলায় বলি চর্চা, they discuss. So that discussion is always there. You always find them having an opinion. So I think that is important, and holistic approach. What Indian knowledge system says that behavioral science and how a student is developed is eventually also important, and we have very good mentors over here, including you. I think mentorship is very important, to hold their hand and to take them to that light is what we are all for. So thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for your time. And I think one other reason why we are so socially active is because Dr. Parekh herself has been a theatre activist for a very long time before being a journalist and then being an academician. Thank you for listening to us. Keep listening to SNU Digital Radio for more such enlightening discussion. This is your host, Arindam Basu, saying good night. Goodbye.